What's going on, Facebook family? I hope everybody is well. Hope everybody's having a good day. Just got a chance to relax with your family over the weekend. Listen, I want to go right into this teaching tonight. So invite your fans on and everybody and bring everybody in. Let's go right into this teaching, all right? Tonight we are teaching on the benefit of being broken. The benefit of being broken. The benefit of being broken. Now, as always, when I come on, I like to give a disclaimer. And this is something that I really want to get into. Hey, I hope everybody's doing well. This is something I really want to get into, but it's also going to require me to be a little transparent with my own life and some of the mistakes I made, some of the decisions that I made, some of the things that I went through. It's going to require me to talk about a little bit of my own process. Part of my job is to, if I can go through what I've gone through, then part of my job is to take that wisdom that I've gained and pour it back into you that are watching and viewing this and taking the time to come in. Blessings. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. So that's part of my job, is to take whatever I've gone through in my life and take it and use it and bring it and pour it into your life. All right? And that can only come through the lens of transparency. All right? So I was studying this thing, and I was dealing with affliction. Dealing with pain. Oh, bless you, man. Bless you, Prophet Clark. It's good to see you, man. Good to see you. I know you're pastoring now, so I wanted to call you Pastor Clark, man. But it's good to see you, man. Congratulations to you as well on the work out there. But I wanted to look at this text real quick. It's in Psalms chapter 19. Or rather Psalm 119. And I'm going to read it from verse 67. And it says, "Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now I keep your word." Verse 68 says, "You are good and you do good. Teach me your statutes." All right. Verse 69 says, "The insolent smear me with lies, but with my whole heart I keep your precepts. Their heart is unfeeling like fat, but I delight in your law." All right. Verse 71 says, "It is good for me that I was afflicted, that I might learn your statutes." All right. It says, "It was good for me that I was afflicted, that I might learn your statutes." So again, I want to talk about the benefit of being broken, or the benefit of brokenness. All right. And this is big to me. Like I said, it's going to require me some transparency. And the reason why is because I can't talk about affliction. I can't talk about pain, the experience of going through pain. I can't talk about pain or affliction. I miss you too, cousin. It's good to see you. I can't talk about that without examining my own life's pain and my own life decisions. All right? I can't look at pain and not pay attention to what pain or affliction has ushered me into or ushered into my life. All right? Never let anybody in this lifetime tell you or make you think that they garnered any success, or that they became successful without any type of struggle or pain associated to their success. Don't ever let anybody tell you that. Don't ever let anybody trick you into believing that. Pain is the prerequisite. It is the needed ingredient to get to where to get to that place of success. In order to be effective, there must be some level of suffering. There must be some level of pain in your walk, in your journey. All right? Never let anybody talk you out of that. In fact, it's in Hebrews, I believe it is chapter 9. I think it's Hebrews chapter 9, verse 7 through 9. It says, "In the days of his flesh, Jesus offered up prayers and supplications with loud cries in tears to him who was able to save him from death. And he was heard because of his reverence. Y'all share this, invite somebody in. It says, although he was a son, and they're talking about Jesus being the Son of God, who thought it not robbery to be equal with God. It says, although he was a son, he learned obedience through what he had suffered. He learned obedience through what he had suffered. It was him going through. It was him dealing with trauma. It was him taking on and enduring pain that he learned obedience to the will of God. All right? In other words, he didn't just become successful overnight. All right? It wasn't until he became subjected to pain that God released. It wasn't until he became subjected and familiar to the pain that God released in his life that he was able to enter into his purpose, that he was able to enter into his success. Or rather, it wasn't until pain that he was thrusted into his success. Let me say it like that. All right? Why am I saying this? When I was 16 years old, I received the Holy Spirit in my life, and God literally turned my life upside down. He turned my life upside down. And like most people, I was having fun. I was doing my thing. I was having fun. And I was having so much fun because I was having so much fun because I was in a place in my life where I did what I wanted to do. I lived my life on my own terms. And I lived my life on my own terms to a place where I did what I felt like I wanted to do. I did anything that I was big and bad enough to do. My life was contrary to the will of God. My life was contrary to the will of God. I lived my life on my own terms. In fact, my mother used to say all the time that if I didn't get in the church, if I didn't get on my life right, if I didn't get my life on track, if I didn't get saved before the age of 18, then she just knew that I was going to enter. She just knew that I was either going to be dead, locked up, or in jail, somewhere. She just knew it. She knew that it was going to be my demise if I didn't get my life together by the age of 18. However, God saved me. He put my life on track. He loved me, and he loved me enough to keep me in my immaturity. So when I was immature, when I was doing things that I wanted to do, when I was doing my own thing, when I was hard-headed, when I was going through different experiences, it was God who kept me, and he kept me, and he saved me, and he put me in a position where he could teach me, and he could grow me up, and he could mature me. And God, the thing about God is he has his own process with this. He has his own process. He has his own prodding tool. He has his own belt. And he uses experience as that belt. He uses the pain of an experience to teach us what he wants us to know, to teach us the lesson that he wants us to know, all right? So watch this. There are 3 things I want to touch on real quick, and I won't even hold you guys. There are 3 things, all right? Number 1, pain brings correction. There are 3 benefits to pain, to affliction, 3 benefits to being broken, 3 benefits to going through something. All right. The first one is pain brings correction. Pain brings correction. All right. Since I was one that was hard-headed, since I was one that I just, did what I wanted to do, I was hard-headed, I just did whatever. It was pain. Watch this. God will use the experience of going through pain to teach me how to operate my life inside of his will. It was the experience of going through pain that taught me that I needed to operate my life inside of the will of God. And not only that, but the experience, it gave me wisdom that I would approach future experiences with caution or high regard. In other words, when you go through the experience, when you deal with some levels of pain, it should teach you that your response to a different experience, to a similar experience or a similar circumstance in the future should be different. Y'all talk back to me. When you go through pain and God allows you to go through the situation, God allows you to go through the circumstance, And he gives you the wisdom when you come out of it that you need to move forward and to act different and to respond different. That's the moment. That's the moment where God gives you the opportunity to respond different. You wonder why you keep going through the same cycle, why you keep going through the same tests, why you keep going through the same situations and the same cycles. It's because you need to change your response. You are not responding correctly. You're not making the necessary adjustments in your behavior. You're not making the necessary adjustments in your lifestyle. You're not making this necessary adjustments in your mentality that gives you a different result. You got to be the one. You got to be the catalyst for your own change. I'm talking better than y'all saying amen. But you got to be the catalyst for your own change. You got to be the one. You got to be the one that says, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. And there needs to be some change. And that change starts with me. And so it's going to demand you to take a look at yourself. It's going to demand for you to take a look at yourself. It's going to demand for you to take some introspect and look at yourself and say, all right, where am I messing up in this? Because it's not this person's fault. It's not that person's fault. It can't be everybody's fault. Where am I getting wrong in this situation? Why do I keep getting this wrong? Why do I keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over and over again? Let me help you. It is madness. It is madness to keep repeating and doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It's madness. It's craziness. It doesn't make sense. And so again, you want to break the cycle. You want to see change take place. You want to correct a certain thing. It's got to start with you. Nobody else can correct that. Nobody else can correct that. Nobody else can fix that but you. While God may be the one to deliver you from the grip of it, it's got to be you to make the decision to turn from it. It's got to be you to make the decision to make the adjustment, to make the necessary correction in order to put yourself back into alignment, back in the will of God, back in the way of God, back in his plan for your life. All right? It took me going through experiences. That word in the Greek is dokimazo. It means to go through the experience of being tested and approved. All right? It took me going through experiences. It took me going through pain. It took me going through pain. The pain of almost having a child out of wedlock before it was my time. It took me going through almost becoming a full-fledged alcoholic at the age of 22. It took me facing the threat of being locked up in a Michigan State penitentiary at the age of 18 for playing around with firearms that I shouldn't have been dealing with. Recklessly playing around with firearms that I shouldn't have been dealing with. It took the threat of that. It took the pain of that situation and the threat of that. All right, for me to correct some of my behavior. Let me help you. Pain is the tool God uses to work reckless and damaging behavior out of your life. He gives grace to you in order for you to change, in order to give you the opportunity to change and make the correct response in the future. All right? But he allows the consequence of our actions to teach us from right or wrong. I hope y'all hearing this. When I was living in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I did some things. I got in some trouble. And I had to make some corrections in my behavior. I had to change some things. I had to make some corrections in my behavior. I think Shane Hansen is on here. Shane, I think I remember when we ran into each other when I was living in Grand Rapids at the time. I was going to school out there. I think you were going too. Me and Shane have been old school buddies from elementary, and we had ran into each other in our college years. But watch this, all right? So pain brings correction. Affliction brings correction. It's God's way of trying to correct your behavior, trying to fix your behavior, trying to push you to make the proper adjustments. All right? And number 2, pain brings purging. Pain brings purging, all right? Or a cleansing, purging, all right? It was pain. It was the pain of the experiences in my life that showed me that I needed to not only change my mentality, not only change my behavior, that I needed to change my circle at that time. Because those that I was running with, those that I was getting in trouble with, I understood that if I kept going down certain paths, if I kept staying connected and yoked up with certain people, that it was just going to continue to lead me outside of God's plan for my life. It was going to continue to lead me into an avenue that would ultimately put me in position to abort and forfeit my destiny. All right? The lifestyle that of the friends and everything and the company that I was hanging around was contrary to my destiny, was contrary to my purpose. It was contrary to God's plan for my life. So the pain of that experience had to put me in a position where I had to learn how to drop those friends, drop those relationships. It was the pain of my first marriage, of my first marriage ending, that showed me that no matter how beautiful a woman is, no matter how good she looked, that if she was not able or she was not ready to accept me and the ministry that's on the inside of me, then that meant she wasn't for me. It didn't matter how pretty she looked. It didn't matter how good she looked. If she couldn't accept who I was as a person and the ministry that's on the inside of me, then I knew she wasn't for me. All right? Same thing for you ladies. If he can't accept that you're a woman of purpose, he can't accept that you're a woman of influence, he can't accept what God is doing on the inside of you, he can't accept what's being birthed on the inside of you, what's coming forward from the inside of you, then you know that he is not for you. I hope this is reaching y'all. I hope this is effective and is blessing y'all. Pain is the Lord's way of purging your life and spirit, watch this, of toxic people and relationships, watch this, that keep you outside of his plan and his purpose for your life. For those of you, watch this, for those of you that are single, I want you to understand this. I didn't start picking better women to date until I endured a little pain. I didn't start picking better women to date until I started enduring pain in the relationships I was with. Ladies, you won't start picking better men to deal with and to date until you get tired of the pain. Fellas, you won't start picking better ladies to date until you get tired of the same old drama and the same pain that comes from that one individual. I didn't start picking better friendships and better alliances, better friends to be around, to connect myself with. I didn't start picking more older, more mature, more stable friends until I got stabbed in the back by something. I didn't start picking better. You know the old saying says, when you know better, you do better. Well, I'm a firm believer in that. When you know better, you ought to do better. All right? I didn't start doing better until I went through a little bit of pain. Pain has this unique ability of teaching you that it's okay for you to love people. You just better be wise on how you show love to people. Pain will show you. It has this unique ability to show you and tell you that, hey, yes, you can love people. Yes, you can love those around you. Yes, you can love those that want to connect with your life. But you better be careful on how you show them that you love them. You better be careful with how much access you give them. You better be careful with how much attention that you pour into that relationship. You better be careful with how much energy you drop into that relationship. You better be careful with how much information about yourself you divulge to that person in that relationship. Because the truth be told, when they show you that they cannot handle the little bit that you've given them, they're showing you that they have a propensity, that they have a proclivity, that part of their nature is they will mishandle you. If they show you from off the bat, if they show you from jump that they may mismanage you or mishandle you, then you better learn to love them smart. All right? And number 3, and I'm almost done. Pain produces purpose. Pain produces purpose. All right? Number 1, we said that pain brings correction. Number 2, we said that pain brings purging. Now, number 3, pain brings purpose. It produces purpose. Pain is the catalyst for purpose. It is the vehicle that drives you and gives you momentum that you need to pursue God's plan for your life. It's pain that does this. Y'all excuse me. It's pain that does this. Every biblical legend in the Bible was accustomed to pain. They were accustomed to pain. They understood what it meant to be afflicted. They understood the Lord's process for being broken. And they understood that the Lord's process of being broken was a painful process. But it always preceded the blessing of God. It always preceded them knowing that it always preceded God's blessing on them, God's anointing on their life. They knew, they understood that the experience of being broken was a purpose to it. There was a purpose behind it. There was a purpose, as a matter of fact, beyond the experience of going through that process. They knew that it happened for a reason. They knew it was happening for a reason. Even Jesus understood that the process of being broken was going to take place for a reason. He understood that. I can imagine Jesus saying that understanding that my pain that I'm taking on, my torment, my brokenness, it's not just for me, it's for someone else. It's for those that'll live and come after me. Or rather, that are coming behind me. It's for the next generation behind me. It's for those that haven't made it here yet. This isn't about me. This is about somebody else. Your pain is oftentimes bigger than you. Your affliction, your struggle is oftentimes bigger than you. And God is trying to put some things in order in your life. He's trying to put some things together in your life because you're going to need to be structured. You're going to need to be have a secure foundation. You're going to need to be in the right place at the right time and to be a blessing to somebody else who may not encountered you just yet. I'll say that one last time. Your pain and your affliction is bigger than you. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than you, but it's a blessing for somebody else. Your story and your struggle is a blessing for somebody else. It was torment for you. It's a nightmare for you, but it's a blessing and encouragement for somebody else. I was telling them in church earlier today that I was teaching, this message earlier today, and I was telling them that I wish that in the service that I had grapes, because grapes represent our life. They represent our ministries. They represent who we are as a person. But everybody knows that when you have grapes, wine comes from grapes. But however, wine can only be extracted from grapes once the grapes are smashed, once they are crushed. Once they are smashed and once they are crushed, that's when the best of the grape comes spewing out of the broken grape. And when enough liquid, when enough grape juice comes out and is captured and it's come out and it's released in a container and it's fermented, it sits for a while, it becomes wine. It becomes wine. And everybody knows, you only give new wine to those that are thirsty. You only give new wine to those that are thirsty. I'll say it again. You only give new wine to those that are thirsty. There is somebody that's thirsty for the anointing that is on the inside of you. There's somebody that is thirsty for the power, for the purpose that is on the inside of you. As a matter of fact, somebody is waiting on you to be broken. Somebody is waiting on you to be crushed. Somebody is waiting on you to fail. Somebody is waiting on you to be disappointed. Somebody is waiting on you to go through what you're going to go through that struggle. Somebody's waiting because their life is dependent upon your success coming out of it. Their life is dependent upon their hope, their expectation. Their next season of their life is dependent upon your ability to survive and declare your testimony in the earth that it was a struggle. It was hard. I didn't know how I was going to make it. I didn't know how I was going to come out of it. I didn't know how I was going to come out of it. But I am here to declare that I made it. And if I can make it out of the hell that I've been facing, if I can make it out of the hell that I've been going through, then surely you can make it too. Then surely you can come out of it too. If I can be successful with this amount of money, then surely you can be successful too. If I can make it to school, if I can make it to school with nothing in my pockets, get my degree, when they told me that I wasn't going to make it, when I wasn't going to amount to anything, then surely you can make it too. You can graduate too. If I can do this over here, then surely you can do this over there. You are becoming an inspiration to somebody. You are becoming an inspiration to somebody. I hope y'all hearing me. You are becoming an inspiration to somebody. Somebody is paying attention to you. Somebody is watching you. Somebody is fully aware of who you are, where you're coming from, what you're going through. And they are waiting for you to climb up out of your struggle and show the rest of the world that yes, you made it. It was painful. It was stressful. It was traumatic. But you're a survivor. You made it. I thank God that He allowed me to enter into the process of being broken. True story. I thank God that He allowed me to go through my process of being broken. I know that God has something great for me. I know that God is trying to do something major in my life when He sends me through surgery. I know that He's doing something great in my life. As a matter of fact, I'll take it to the next level. I know that He still cares about me. Woo! As messed up as I am, as crazy as I can be, as flawed and jacked up as I am, I know that He still loves me when He takes time to fix me. Woo! I know that He still loves me when He takes time to do surgery on me. And the thing I love about God is when He does surgery on me, it may hurt when He cut me, it may hurt a little bit when He cuts me, and it may be uncomfortable when He cuts me, but the thing I love about God is He always just sews me back up the way I need to be sewed up. He allows me to heal from my surgery. He doesn't just leave me to bleed open and die. He allows me to heal from my surgery. He allows me to heal from when I've been broken. He puts me back together again. But when He puts me back together again, I won't look like what I've been through. I won't look like all the hell I won't look like all the struggle. I won't look like all the pain. I won't look like all the torment. I'll look like what God intended for me to look like. I'll look like what God intended for me to look like. I gotta go, y'all. I gotta get out of here. Listen, I've been on here. But listen, I wanted to share that with you. There are benefits. There are benefits to going through your process of pain, to being broken. All right? I wanted to share that with you guys. I wanted to deposit that in your spirit. Listen, we got a couple of things coming up. I want you guys to get ready. It's this month. I want you to join us this month at FOCFI, all right? Our Innovate Conference. It's going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana, June 19th through the 21st. June 19th through the 21st. I want you guys to be there. All of my Facebook followers, all of my Periscope followers, I want you to be there, all right? We got some amazing tracks. I want you to visit www.focfi.org, rather. It's www.focfi.org. Get there, register for this conference. Also, get your hotel information, book your hotels. You're going to be in Kenner, Louisiana. You want to be there. You want to be able to enjoy this experience, all right? We got the young emerging leaders. We've got the pastors and leaders, the entrepreneurs. We've got those that are going to be in the music ministry teaching us. We've got those that are going to be Sisters Winning in Ministry. That's going to be Bishop and First Ladies track that they're teaching. So you just want to be there. We got nightly speakers. We've got Pastor John Hanna. We've got Bishop Darrell Hines. We got Bishop R.C. Blakes himself. That's right, our presiding prelate, Bishop R.C. Blakes. He's going to be speaking to us as well. We're going to be kicking every morning off with prayer. That's right, prayer with Bishop Samuel Blakes as well. He's going to be there. So you want to, you want to be in the house. You want to be at FOCFI Innovate. That's right. We're going to stop replicating this year, and it's time to innovate. It's time to do something new. It's time to be the game changer. It's time for you to be the catalyst for your own change. All right? Listen, I love y'all. Visit my YouTube page. My YouTube page is JL Smith. All right. And not only I want you to visit that, visit my website. My website is www.jlsmithglobal. All right. Visit my website. Visit my YouTube page. Also, make sure you guys stay up to date on my YouTube page by hitting subscribe. Hit subscribe. You can always tune into our conversation there. Check out videos just like this one. All right. Lastly, this week, get ready. The Couch Talk is coming back. That's right. The New Home Family Worship Center, Houston Young Adult Ministry. We are going to be back with the Couch Talk this week. I'm excited because we're going to be talking about some, what we're going to be talking about life from a millennial perspective. We always hear everybody else's perspective, but this time the millennials are taking over, and we're going to talk about life from our perspective. We're going to give y'all what we think about life. We're going to tell y'all what we think about life, what's our perception. So you want to tune in for that this week. Just be on the lookout for that. But again, visit my website. It's www.jlsmithglobal. Also, visit my YouTube page, JL Smith. Make sure you sign up, hit subscribe, and join into our conversations. Hit subscribe and check in with me, all right? So you can be notified on my latest videos. Listen, my time is up. I gotta get out of here. I need some rest, but I will talk to you all soon.